My neighbor reported me to the HOA for having too many visitors. I am a nurse hosting vaccine clinics for elderly residents. When I found the bright orange violation notice taped to my front door, I thought it was a mistake, excessive traffic, and unauthorized business operation from a residential property. It read, $250 fine, immediate compliance required. I've lived in Oakwood Estates for 3 years. It's one of those cookie-cutter suburban neighborhoods with matching mailboxes and a homeowners association that measures your grass with a ruler. I am not exaggerating. Mrs. Peterson from the HOA board literally carries a ruler in her purse. As a night shift ICU nurse, I barely have energy to violate HOA rules. Most days I am either sleeping or working 12-hour shifts at the hospital. But when COVID hit our community hard, everything changed. Our hospital was overwhelmed. The elderly were especially vulnerable, many unable to navigate the online appointment systems or stand in long lines for vaccines. So when vaccines became widely available, I volunteered to host small clinics at my home for elderly residents who couldn't get to vaccination sites. With hospital approval, I'd bring home 10 to 15 doses twice a week. Elderly neighbors would come by, get their shot in my living room, wait their 15 minutes in chairs spaced across my garage, and leave symbol safe and literally saving lives until Richard next door decided it was suspicious. I marched straight to the HOA office, violation notice in hand. Behind the desk sat Brenda, the board president, and beside her Perrin looking smug as a cat with a canary pant, my neighbor Richard. Care to explain why you are running a business from your home? Brenda asked, peering over her glasses. I placed my hospital ID on her desk. I am not. I am a nurse helping vaccinate elderly residents who can't get to vaccination sites, Richard scoffed. Then why are there cars parked outside your house every Tuesday and Thursday, people coming and going, some with walkers and wheelchairs? It's disrupting the neighborhood character. The neighborhood character he was so concerned about protecting was apparently one where senior citizens should remain invisible. Those are your neighbors, Richard, Mr. and Mrs. Abernathy from 3 doors down, the Wilsons from across the park, people who've lived here for decades. Brenda looked uncomfortable. Still, the bylaws clearly state. I cut her off. Show me where it says a nurse can't help elderly neighbors during a global pandemic. Richard leaned forward. My property values, your property values, I laughed. You know what impacts property values? Dead neighbors. I hadn't meant to be so blunt, but after 14 months of watching people die alone on ventilators, my patience for bureaucratic nonsense had evaporated. Here's what's going to happen, I said, surprising myself with my calm tone. I am going to continue helping our elderly neighbors get vaccinated. You are going to tear up this violation. And Richard, you are going to stop taking photos of senior citizens from behind your blinds like some creep. Richard's face turned the color of my scrubs. You can't prove Mrs. Abernathy saw you. She thought you were taking pictures of her new haircut and was flattered until I explained you were actually documenting her violation of visiting a neighbor. 2 days later, I found a letter in my mailbox. The HOA had not only dismissed the violation, but had officially designated my home as a temporary community health outpost for the next 6 months. The real surprise came the following Tuesday. As my first elderly patient arrived, I noticed a table set up in my driveway with water bottles, individually wrapped cookies, and chairs. Richard stood awkwardly beside it. I thought they might want snacks after their shots, he mumbled, not meeting my eyes. Turns out Richard's wife had been one of my ICU patients last year before vaccines were available. She'd survived, but it had been touch and go. He never made the connection that I was the nurse who had FaceTimed him at 3 a.m. so he could say what might have been goodbye. Sometimes people lash out from fear, sometimes they hide behind rules because they're scared of feeling helpless, and sometimes they bring cookies as an apology when they can't find the words. Yesterday, Richard helped Mrs. Abernathy up my front steps. My property values are doing just fine, he said quietly, but I am more concerned about my neighbors now.